Hello. Hello.
Yeah, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so should we wait for some more time or we can start the class?
So we can start.
We even you have less number of students than here. Hmm? आज तो 50 स्टूडेंट्स ही 53 है खाली आज। ठीक है, 1 मिनट और इंतजार करते हैं, उसके बाद फिर देखते हैं। हेलो। हेलो।
Yeah, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we are going to discuss some new idea. So how many of you have gone through digital electronics course? I mean, second year students of computer science have gone through this course or not?
Yeah, sir. We have done
Yes.
digital logic and design.
Okay, and of course, if second year CS students have already done that, third year computer science students must have done this.
So second year computer science, third year electronics.
So, yeah, now I'm audible. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, yeah, have you gone through this number system and all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know one's complement, two's complement, addition, subtraction. This all you understand? So this can be skipped or this has to be reiterated.
So it could be skipped.
For sure.
Yeah, sir. We have done this multiple
But
times.
skipping does not mean it will not come in exam. It may come in the
Yeah,
exam.
sir. Yeah, sir. We have done it multiple times.
Okay, that's a good thing. So at least you are agreeing something to skip and I mean allowing it to come into the exams. So yeah, now let's move on to the memory addressing and things like that. So let me share my screen first. Okay. So you understand what a memory is? So memory is something where you actually, I think this has to be changed. This needs a change. Yeah. So what is a memory? That we have discussed a bit. So we have a memory where there is an ALU that performs certain operations. So for that operations, we need two things. One is code and another is data. So code mostly resides in memory, whereas data may either come from memory or it may come from some input device. And later on, this generates another form of data. And that again may go to memory, or it may go to certain output device, right? Do you know this? So actually what it all means.
So there is processing of data going on.
Yeah, there is some problem. I am not getting new slide. Okay, so what actually I'm trying to say that there is a memory, and this is nothing but few cells. Cells are actually made up of transistors, nowadays CMOS, and we are going to store something in it. So every cell will be storing either 1 or 0, right? You all know that that's just teeny thing. But the important point is, generally, we organize memory in form of words. So what is a word? Huh?
Sir, a definite number of bits.
Yeah. So we define a size where number of bits make a word. So that may be of 4 bits, 8 bits, 16 bits, 32 bits, or whatever number you want. And generally these words are addressed. So whenever you are addressing, you are most of the times not addressing a particular cell. You are addressing this complete word of the memory, right? And you store something here, you read something from here. As you already can understand that at any point of time, no memory may be empty. You understand this? So there will be something stored into this. but those values may be garbage. So there is no memory that is ever empty. Some ones or zeros will be always stored there. Doesn't matter those are useful to you or not, but there will be always something stored, right? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So this is the basic idea, and all of these words have got certain address. So we'll talk more about this addressing thing and why these addresses are needed. So whenever you write a code and you want to read something from memory, from where you have to read, that you have to understand. If you don't know where to read, then you cannot do anything. So suppose this has got some address A and this has got some address B and this has some address C. So you want to add contents available at A with the contents available at B, and you want to store that contents at C. So you must be able to aware that what will be A, what will be B, and what will be C. Other than if you don't know that, you cannot use that. So these addresses are again some kind of binary strings. So for k locations, if you have k locations in your memory, can you tell me what will be the size of address? You understood my question? So suppose there are 4 locations in a household, in a locality. There are 4 houses in locality, and I want to name address all those 4. What is the size of binary string that I'll be needing?
2.
Yeah. So one may be 0, 0, one may be 0, 1, one may be 1, 0, and one may be 1, 1. So if I have, let's say, 2 raised to the power k minus 1 locations, what will be the size of address string that I'll be needing?
K.
K, fine. And what if it is 2 raised to the power k minus 1 minus k by 2? Tell me. Tell me, guys. Okay, let me put it this way. What if you have what if we have 3 houses? What will be the size of string we'll be needing? 2. Will it work in less than that?
No, sir.
No, so if we have 2 locations, we would need 1 bit only.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. So if you have 2 locations, then you will be needing 1 address. So 1 you can remove from here. So I mean, it's not always sure that the locations will always be of this form. You can have a smaller or larger part of that. But if it's not the integral multiple to that, you will be actually going to the next digit, right? So suppose if this
Yes,
way
sir.
your k value is coming like 10.5, you will not take it 10.5 because there is no point of having 10.5. So you'll definitely go for 11. Make sense? Make
Yes, sir.
sense? So I think, I mean, you would have heard while buying mobile phones, of course, systems as well, that this mobile has this much memory capacity available, but this supports this much memory only. Oh, this supports this much memory, but this is having this much memory only. Have you heard this? So maybe
Yes,
it will
sir.
support till 4 GB, but it only has 2 GB. So what is that actually?
It's called available memory.
Hmm? It's called?
Expandable memory.
It's not actually expandable in common commercial term. You can say whatever you wish. So it is something like this, that I have two houses and I am addressing them as 00 and 01. Now what are the possibility? How many houses I can add without adding any more address bits?
Two houses.
So you have only two houses, but you have, I mean, capability of having four houses. So that's what they are actually saying, right? Is it okay?
Okay.
And I'm
So
sure,
they,
yeah.
so sir, in a device, they, the number of binary, the size of the binary strings represent the memory, even though in reality it would be less than that, right?
No, say again, please. Number of.
Just like you said in this example, there are only two houses, but we are
Hmm.
using 2 bits to represent them. So
Uh-huh.
it would be four. The bit size would be two, and hence the in a device the memory would be shown as 4 bits.
No, memory is 2 bit, two locations only. But you are using it so that you can go up to four locations without much change. You just have to add two more houses. That's
Yeah,
all.
but in actuality there are only two houses, right?
Yeah, so
But we
this
use
is the
two
part
bits.
of memory that you have not added.
Yeah, that is
You
what I'm
can
saying.
add this at any point of time.
So if I have a memory that has a representation of address as k bits, right?
Hmm.
So I can have a memory up to 2 raised to k minus 1.
Right.
But if at any moment it's less than that, then that would be my available memory, and I could expand it to that.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that is.
That is right. Fine. Any more questions about it? Huh? Any more questions about this? Hmm?
No, sir.
No.
So what device? So a question.
Yeah.
So we're designing a device. Do they take into consideration the nearest power of 2 as bit size, or they just stop at whatever their size need is?
Generally, they do because it make more sense. Because whatsoever you are doing in terms of adding, in terms of storing the data, everything actually comes in form of bytes and in form of group of 8s and 16s and 32s and 64. You can certainly say that even if I am not doing so, I can uh, do with this. But yeah, I mean, I think that will be less comfortable and there is no advantage of doing so. I mean, just for the sake of doing something, you are doing something, that's all. Right? Hmm?
Yeah, right.
So now there are, now let's move on. Let's move on. So there are three kind of addressabilities that we talk about. Bit addressability, byte addressability, and word addressability, right? So I think you can understand what does it I mean by that.
Yes, sir.
By now you have understood what I mean by this. So can somebody just tell me?
So word addressability means that we are addressing the discrete suppose a discrete element in memory, minimum element that could be accessed is the word, right? So suppose there is a word is composed of a byte, so that is 8 bits. So I cannot address those 8 bits individually. I can address the word as a whole. So
Okay.
that would be word addressability, right? And if the minimum size to address it is byte, then it would be byte addressability.
Yeah, so that's why I was just thinking you have taken a wrong, I mean, poor example. So you should have taken word size of 16 and then you could have, I mean, explained the difference between byte addressability and word addressability. So suppose, I mean, we have a word size of 16 or let's say 32. So when I'm saying word addressability, I'm addressing those 32 bits in one go. Then another 32 bits in one go and things like that. And when I say byte addressability, so no matter my word size, what my word size is, I'll be addressing every byte separately. And then bit addressability where I'm addressing all the bits separately. So given this kind of idea, when it is word addressable, your memory, you can, I mean, feel it like this. So if this is the length of my word, let's say that is n. So here my first word will be, here my second word will be, and then here my ith word will be, and then somewhere here my 2 raised to the power k minus 1th word will be. Right? Is it okay?
Yes.
So another correspondingly important point. Suppose I'm talking about a 32-bit word where value of n is 32. So this will be my B31 and this will be my B0, right? Is it okay? You know that? And this particular bit will be used for some important thing. Let's say if it's a number, for what this B31 will be used? Can you tell
Sign
me?
bit.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a sign bit. So this is going to be my sign bit. Right? In case if I'm talking about ASCII characters, my ASCII characters are having actually 8-bit each. So I'll be having one ASCII character here, another ASCII character here, another ASCII character here, and then another ASCII character here. Right? Is it okay? So now let's move on one conventional thing. This is just a conventional thing, so no, not much of the reason involved with that, but in practical that will be used many a times. So there are two kind of address assignments available. big endian and little endian. I'll just draw both of them and you will be able to understand the
होगा नहीं
difference.
बेचारा, कल सुबह से लेके बैठे हो 10 बजे से डाला, 4 बजने के 6 घंटा हो गया, तेरा खत्म नहीं हुआ, क्यों लेके
Pushpak,
बैठा हो?
Pushpak, what's going on? Just unmute and tell me what's going on.
Actually, my brother was there. I told him to keep studying. He was studying history for like. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. I was telling my brother about that, not you. I'm sorry.
So just concentrate on your class. After you can counsel your brother. Okay. So okay, so I am just drawing the big endian and small endian thing, and you will just understand the difference. So there will be actually 4 bytes available, and similar is the case here. So this is my 0th word, this is my first word, and this will be. So for big endian assignment, the bytes will be addressed like this: 0, 1, 2, 3. And for little endian assignment, it will be 3, 2, 1, 0. So there are 2 kind of conventions available with this. One is big endian and another is little endian. So I mean, whether more significant byte is being considered as first byte, or whether less significant byte is considered as first byte, this very idea is big endian or little endian assignment makes the difference, right? Any confusion about it?
No, sir. It's basically ascending and descending order.
So it's just a convention. So few systems will follow big endian assignment and other systems will follow small endian assignment. That's all, nothing else. So I mean, most of the times it is mentioned whether it follow big endian assignment or less little endian assignment, right?
Yes, sir.
Another simple important point is word alignment. So word alignment is simple. So idea is like this. If this is your memory, memory will typically look like this. So there will be 0th bit, there will be first bit byte, there will be second byte, and things like this. And actually, if we'll go little closer, so you'll be having 0th bit here, first bit here, second bit here, third bit here, fourth bit here. So technically your word can start from any bit. So it may start from third bit and then it can go up to, let's say, 35 fifth bit. But actually it never happens. So we start generally from 0th bit or from 8th bit or from 16th bit and from 24, 30, 32nd bit. So technically it can start from anywhere, but as a matter of convenience, we start in an aligned fashion, right? Is it okay?
Could you explain this point again?
So what I am saying is your word can actually start from any bit. So it need not be starting from 0th bit or 8th bit or 16th bit or 24th bit. But it never happens. It happens actually on these bits only. So that, I mean, first a word will be going from 0 to 31 or 32 to 63 and like that. It could have been like 3rd to 35, 36 to and likewise. But
Yeah, sir, got it.
we don't do that. We do it in an aligned fashion that makes our life simpler. Right? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let's move on. So now we'll talk about memory operations.
So then can we address a bit?
Yeah, we can address. I already told you bit addressability also exists simultaneously.
So, but you have shown only for the byte address, na? We use that convention to address bytes. How do we
Yeah,
access
so
a bit?
this generally bit addressability is a rare thing, but it can be addressed. So same kind of format can be taken for this. So I mean, whether you are
Same
doing
little
mostly,
Indian or big Indian could be used for bit addressing, right?
yeah, but it is used for byte. It is used for word addressing and byte addressing. But the similar ideas can be used for bit addressability as well within
Okay.
a word.
Okay. So it
So
would have 3 layers of accessible. First, you would access the word, then the byte, and then the bit.
not necessarily, you can directly address the bit. That is also possible. It's
But
just your
for that,
memory capability will decrease. Huh?
okay. For that, it should have a unique, right?
Yeah, so you need to have a different location for all the bits available. So while you are saying k location, these k locations will be k bits. In case of byte addressability, these k locations will be k bytes. So the overall capacity with this kind of memory string will decrease. That's right. Nothing else. No other problem will be there.
Okay.
So typically memory has got two operations. What you call those operations? Hmm? What are two operations that a memory will
Store
have?
and retrieve.
Store and read. It's not retrieve, it's read.
Sorry, read.
Yeah. So in this language, we call it load. Sorry. Load or store and read. At times, you also reset the memory. So in resetting, actually, you are doing nothing. But what you are doing, you are loading zeros. Sorry, I made a mistake. Store, write or store. And write, store, read, load. So actually you are writing or storing something, or you are reading or loading from memory. These are the two operations available. And when you want to reset, you write or store zeros everywhere, right? Is it okay? Hmm? So now let's move on to instructions. So there are 4 kind of operations that actually a system perform. Can you list for me what those 4 kind of operations? Okay, so let me write. Data transfer, between memory and registers. Fine. So you load some data or code from memory into your processor registers, and then what you have to do with that data. So that is A and L operations, arithmetic and logic operations, and then there will be some jump and jump if, these kind of instructions. You already use if, for. So that is actually called as program sequence instructions. Getting my point? So generally program will be actually executing the next line, but if you want to make some change in that process, so there will be some kind of if, then else, for, loop, etc. So that is actually called as sequencing instructions. And of course, like memory, you will have something called IO transfer. Okay. So we'll just discuss one of them today, and then in the next class we'll be discussing remaining. Today we'll be, closing class little early because some workshop is already going on there. So first is actually, data transfer between memory and processor registers. So there are 2-3 ways. In fact, there are more ways of data transfer. So that is actually called different kind of register transfer notations, RTNs. So if R1 is the register, let's say, and from some location data is coming. So how this is actually happening, that is called as register transfer notation. So you are directly mentioning the location, right? So for example, you are writing R1 and let's say 4800 X. If you're writing this, so what is actually happening? Somebody's responding this?
Loading.
Yeah, it is loading from memory directly. So these kind of things that we discuss, that how this loading is happening, that we are going to discuss in detail in the next class. And then we'll be discussing certain instruction types and how instruction set is actually partitioned into different parts. So this will actually complete your this unit. Now we have to quickly decide a quiz date. When can we have a quiz? When you want to have a quiz? 12th February, 12th March.
Isn't the midsem on 12th March? Midsem 1.
Oh, midsem 1 is from 12th March. So how
No, sir,
about?
it's not confirmed. It was speculative at the start. The schedule said that around
Okay, so
that
let's
date
keep
there
it
will
12th March then. Let's keep it on 12th March, maybe from, or let's keep it 11th March from 7 to 8 in the
7 in the
evening.
evening.
Yeah.
Okay.
And whatsoever we'll discuss by then, maybe 2 units we would have discussed by then, that will be the part of syllabus, right?
What would be the platform?
That I'll tell you. I'm not sure
Okay.
what platform will be. Okay.
Okay.
So for today, we'll stop here. In the next class, we'll be discussing more about instructions. Fine. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.